Hello everyone, this is M. Kiran Kumar Singha, PGT Political Science, KV number 3, Imphal, Leimakhong. And today we will be having a very important discussion on book number 1, class 12 Political Science, International Politics, Contemporary International Politics. And we will have a small discussion of what is there in chapter number 3, this is New Centers of Power. See, you might have seen the changes made by CBSE in the last few days, where every of the subjects, it used to be reduced to 30% of the syllabus. 30% of the syllabus have been removed from all the books, and here, after deleting chapter number 3 of book number 1, class 12 Political Science, let us now have chapter number 3, this is New Centers of Power. Before actually starting the class, let us have a small brief background of what important subtopics we have discussed in chapter number 1, Cold War era, and in chapter number 2, End of Bipolarity. Okay, see here, Cold War, series of conflicts and confusion, a warlike situation, an ideological conflict between USA and USSR after the end of the Second World War, right? So we have seen a series of conflicts and contradictions between two of the superpowers. One of the superpower was USA, and its counterpart, it was USSR. And I hope you might have known about the full form of even USSR, right? And the main contenders, these two of the superpowers and their alliance partners, they had series of agitations, struggles and tensions, and the form of Cold War. It was not actually a direct confrontation between these two of the groups, but this was something like a warlike situation in which both the superpowers, USA and Soviet Union, used to develop a lot of tensions, disagreements, conflicts and confusions, right? So after that, the Cold War was ended in the year 1991. So understand the point. When was Cold War ended? Try to remember the year in which Cold War was ended. As you know, it was ended in the year 1991. Okay, 1991, the particular year in which Cold War was ended. Fine. After that, what was the main event which was involved in the end of the Cold War? Cold War was ended with the disintegration of Soviet Union. This one we have already understood. So after that, after 1991, the only superpower country left, it was United States of America. So now we will be discussing here about the US hegemony, right? And how that US hegemony, how that domination, how that US supremacy was politically challenged by some other great powers. Okay, see, if we see the world politics after 1991, just after the end of the Second World War, we have two of the powerful countries which were having a lot of tensions and conflicts in the name of Cold War, right? So after that, after Cold War ended in the year 1991, one superpower country was left in the international politics, and it was United States of America. That superpower country used to dominate every helms of the affairs of the international politics. And there was no any other country who could be able to challenge and who could be able to defend the US supremacy and all. It was a question. So there we have seen a very important question. What was that question? How long this US hegemony, how long this US supremacy after 1991 would continue, right? So initially, after the end of the Cold War, for a few years, USA and their hegemonic role, their domination and supremacy could continue. But after a few years, right? After a few years of this end of the Cold War, this USSR are also disintegrated, and after that, USA, that sole superpower country left, they started dominating the international politics, and by that time, some of the regional organizations had been formed. So here in this particular discussion, chapter number 3, New Centers of Power. Here, this centers of power would be challenging the US domination. So we will have 3 points to discuss here in this particular chapter. new centers of power, and let me write those three challenges, major challenges. Number one, this is European Union, the first regional organization which was founded in the context of Europe as a whole to defend, to encounter the US hegemony. European Union as an organization was formed to defend, to encounter the US hegemony, the US supremacy. Okay, second alternative center of power, second new center of power who would be challenging the US supremacy was ASEAN. And what is the full form of this ASEAN? This is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The second alternative centers of power who was formed, which was established to encounter or to defend the US domination in terms of economy, in terms of politics, in terms of administration, in the global politics. And this is what? This is ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. This particular group, even though it was confined to the Southeast Asia, it was the main challenge of United States and supremacy, the domination that they have met in the world politics. And this will be the second new centers of power. And next one, last one, most interestingly, one single country is coming up, which will be claimed as the fastest growing economy. This is about the emergence of the rise of the Chinese economy. This is the point. These are three of the new centers of power who would be challenging, who will be questioning about the US hegemony, about the US authority. And they started questioning about the supremacy, the dominations made by USA. Means USA is no more the superpower. Okay, world after 1991, it was said to be a unipolar world in which USA fully controlled everything, right? So unipolar world, understand the point? So here again in this chapter, after a few years of its disintegration, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, there we have started seeing or witnessing a new world order in which some of the regional organizations have come up in order to what? In order to challenge the US supremacy. And let me remind you that question again. How long US hegemony would continue? It was the main point. Okay, so there we have three centers of power who will be questioning the US supremacy. They claim that even European Union, it was founded just to have economic integration. Together they would have more development, they would have more integration. But the question is, they, after having improved economy, after having more integration, will be challenging the US supremacy, US hegemony. This is the point. And likewise ASEAN, and unlike to this first and the second regional organizations. Let's see, European Union, it was confined only to Europe, right? As the name itself depicted. Here in the second challenges, same thing here also. This was confined to Southeast Asia, where this ASEAN was there to have more integration, to bring economic prosperity in Southeast Asian region. And altogether, after having that integration, 10 member countries were there in ASEAN. And those countries altogether will fight against the US hegemony. This is the point. And last one, unlike to this, as you know, no country was allowed, no country was able to effectively challenge the US domination. Because in terms of economy, in terms of military, in terms of all sort of power, this one, USA is all powerful. There is no single country which could challenge USA. But here, third alternative center of power. This is the third new center of power who singly came up to challenge the US domination. This is the rise of the emergence of the Chinese economy. We have a long story regarding all these three of the European, new centers of power. And see here, European Union, we have ASEAN, we have China, and apart from that, we have some of the individual countries like Russia, Japan, South Korea, even Israel, even Brazil, who will be having a lot of improved economy recently, and who will be challenging the US economy and all. So but after that, we have to discuss about each one of these new centers of power, and the main function, the main objective of this kind of an organization is to challenge the US domination in the international politics. And what was their logic, what was their objective behind? They thought that USA is not only the largest economy. USA is not the only powerful country. So apart from US economy, we would find many other authorities, many other organizations, and even single country, China, who would be challenging the US economy. And this is all about part 1 of chapter number 3, New Centers of Power. And in part number 2, we will discuss each one of us, say European Union, and second Asian, and even China. And even after that, as per the latest syllabus of latest engines of CBSE, we will take into account some other organizations, some other individual countries, including Russia, including Japan, South Korea. We will take into account those details discussion. And even after that, we will discuss about the SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, where even India belongs to, right? So we'll take into account those things in the alternative new centers of power. Why new centers? Because USA is not the only sole superpower country left. There are few countries came up to encounter, to challenge the US domination. This is the story. Okay, so we'll wind up here for today.